Mr. Secretary, can you confirm whether the quorum for the meeting is present, please? I didn't hear you, please. Mr. Secretary, can you confirm whether the quorum for this meeting is present, please? Yes, continue.
It's 12 o'clock and I confirm that we have a quorum sufficient to convene this meeting. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you so much. Chiefs, ladies and gentlemen, the time now is 12 noon, a little bit about 12:02. I want to take this opportunity to welcome all our distinguished shareholders, a board of directors, company, the management, and also the staff of our company, Akwa Ibom State Government, by extension the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, here represented by the Executive Chairman of Akwa Ibom Investment Corporation. I also want to thank the Almighty God for the opportunity that He has given us as a company to see this day. I want to especially say that the year 2020 was a very tough one for all of us, being that COVID-19 really ravaged the entire system. Today, I see that all our board of directors, our staff, our management, every single person, our shareholders are all in one piece. I want to give God thanks for that. And I want to say that this company will continue to grow, to thrive, to create value for our shareholders. In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. Amen. Due to the now I want to officially say that the meeting, having been duly convened and constituted, is hereby declared open. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic and attendant directives issued by relevant authorities on physical distancing and a limit on the maximum number of persons at a gathering, not more than 20 persons, shareholders' attendance at this annual general meeting, AGM, shall be by proxy only, in accordance with the Corporate Affairs Commission's guidelines on holding of annual general meetings, AGM, or public companies using proxies therein after referred to as CAC guidelines. May I call the registrars to quickly confirm the number of proxy forms received for this meeting?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
For the purpose of this meeting, we received 61 proxies with a total of 7,293,028,477 units of shares, representing 93.15% of shares of the issue share capital of Champion Breweries. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a unique AGM which is duly streamed online in line with today's realities. May I use this opportunity to thank our shareholders, the board, regulators, and advisors for their support in joining in. Each member who has the opportunity to talk or second a motion should please speak clearly from his microphone. Let me introduce to you members of the board of directors of our company physically present with me at this meeting. I have with me here to my right Mrs. Helen Omana, a minority shareholders representative on the board. And on my left, though not a director, the chief financial financial officer, chief financial officer of the company, Mrs. Nkechi Ojerica. Thank you so much. Let me also introduce to you members of the board of directors of our company present at this meeting by virtual means. Mr. Georgios Polymenakos, though not here with me physically, is the company managing director, is unavoidably absent, and we wish him a safe journey back to you. Mr. Olufumiyi Alabi is a non-executive director. Mr. Alaji Shaibu A. Otan is an independent non-executive director. Mr. Thompson Owoka is a non-executive director. Mr. Samson Agbedo. Mr. Samson is also a non-executive director. Mr. Frederick William Kurt. Mr. Frederick is also a non-executive director. And Mr. Kevin Santry. Kevin is absent as a result of an emergency, but is in good condition. And so I ask that the AGM excuse him for this particular day. Also virtually present at this meeting are shareholders members of the audit committee, namely Mr. Godwin Onono, Mr. Olayemi Olatunde. Also are external auditors present, Mr. Muhammad Adama, a partner of KPMG Professionals, Ms. Adejinka Ogunoiki. I also acknowledge the presence of our regulators, namely Ms. Fatimo Adeniyi of Nigerian Stock Exchange, and our registrars, the African Prudential Registrars Limited. My name is Dr. Elijah Akpan. I'm the chairman of Champion Breweries PLC, and our company secretary is Chief Tozan Aiboni. Let me finally acknowledge our shareholders who will be participating in this meeting, namely Maxi Boniface Okesie, Mr. Sunday O. Ogunawo, and our shareholders representative previously mentioned. Before I call upon the secretary to read the notice convening the meeting, may I announce that in accordance with Section 308, subsection 8 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, Cap C20 laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2020, the Register of Directors' Holdings will be available for inspection by request to the company secretary. Similarly, in accordance with Section 284, subsection 2 of the Act, the record of directors' attendance at board meetings during the year is also available for inspection. Also available for inspection is the record of members' attendance at audit committee meetings during the year. I now call upon the secretary to read the notice convening this meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, my distinguished shareholders, regulators, directors, ladies and gentlemen. The notice of the annual general meeting is stated on page 10 of the annual report in your possession, and with your kind permission, I read thus. Notice is hereby given that the 45th annual general meeting of Champion Breweries PLC will be held by proxy on Thursday, 20th May 2021 at Industrial Layout, Aka, Ofot, Akwa Ibom State at 12 noon to A. Ordinary business. Lay before members the audited financial statement for the year ended December 31st, 2020, and the directors, auditors, and audit committee reports thereon. 2. Elect to elect directors as may be applicable. 3. Authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the auditors. 4. Elect to elect shareholder representatives of the audit committee. 5. Disclosure of remuneration of managers in line with section 257 of the Company and Allied Matters Act 2020. B. Special business. To approve the remuneration of directors. 7. To consider and if thought fit, pass the following resolution as an ordinary resolution of the company, that a general mandate be and is hereby given to the company to enter into recurrent transactions with related parties for the company's day-to-day operations, including the procurement of goods and services on normal commercial terms. Notes stated below are as follows. 1. Proxies. 2. Appointment of members of the audit committee. 3. Closure of the registrar. 4. Right to ask questions. 5. Electronic version of the annual report and accounts. 6. Live streaming. Dated 25th day of February 2021 by order of the board. Your humble secretary, Chief Tosan Atle Iboni.
So much, Company Secretary. Item number 1 on the agenda is to receive and consider the financial statement for the year ended December 31, 2020. The directors, auditors, and audit committees reports thereon. I now call upon Mr. Mohammed Adama of Mrs. KPMG Professionals to read the auditor's report to you.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, distinguished board members and shareholders. Permits me to share auditor's reports, which can be found on pages 28 to 30 of the annual report. Please let me know if you can see it.
Please proceed.
Please proceed, please.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Chairman and distinguished shareholders, it's a 3-page audit report. If I have your permission, I can read the main elements of the report, but I'm also ready to read the entire 3-page report. But if I have your permission, I can read the main parts of the report.
Go ahead and read the main parts of the report.
Thank you, sir. So I read, like I said, the audit reports can be found on pages 28 to 30 of the annual report. Reports on the audit of the financial statements. Opinion. We have audited the financial statements of Champion Breweries PLC, the company, which comprise the statement of financial position as at 31st December 2020, the statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income, the statement of changes in equity, the statement of cash flows for the year then ended, and the notes comprising significant accounting policies and other explanatory information. In our opinion, the accompanying financial statements give a true and fair view of the financial position of the company as at 31st December 2020, and of its financial performance and its cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with International Financial Reporting Standards, IFRS, and in the manner required by the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, and the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria Act 2011. Basis for opinion. We conducted our audit in accordance with International Standards on Auditing, ISACs. Our responsibilities under those standards are further described in the auditor's responsibilities for the audit of the financial statement section of our report. We are independent of the company in accordance with International Ethics Standards Board for Accountants, for International Code of Ethics for Professional Accountants, including International Independent Standards, the IESBA Code, together with the ethical requirements that are relevant to our audit of the financial statements in Nigeria. And we have fulfilled our other ethical responsibilities in accordance with these requirements and the IESBA Code. We believe that the audit evidence we have obtained is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for our opinion. Key audit matter. We have one key audit matter, which is on recoverability of deferred taxes. And this is essentially explaining why it's a key audit matter. Is really because it's the recoverability of this asset is dependent on future profitability of the business. And the procedures we performed on this to satisfy ourselves have been outlined in, on this same page. So I move on now to the next paragraph, which is on page 29, other information. This is same as previous years. The next two paragraphs are the respective responsibilities of the directors for the financial statements and the responsibilities of ourselves as auditors. These responsibilities haven't changed and they have remained the same. So I move on to the third and last page, and I read the last paragraph. Reports on other legal and regulatory requirements. Compliance with the requirements of Schedule 5 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020. We have obtained all the information and explanations which, to the best of our knowledge and belief, were necessary for the purpose of our audit. In our opinion, proper books of accounts have been kept by the company, so far as appears from our examination of those books, and proper returns adequate for the purpose of our audit have been received. The company's statement of financial position and statement of profit or loss and other comprehensive income are in agreement with the books of accounts and returns, signed by me, Mohammed Adama, for KPMG Professional Services and dated March 5, 2021. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Adama. The report of the audit committee has been circulated alongside the notice of this meeting. I call upon the chairman of the committee to read it to you.
The report of the members of the PLC. In accordance with the provision of Section 404 the members of the audit committee of PLC have carried out an committee function under the Act, whereby report that the board and the management final audit of the year final audit program the scope of planning and executing the project of the year having reviewed this necessary that and establish and internal we have tried that everything was not there. So the accounting and the public policy year ended at 20%, while in accordance with international financial reporting standards, year on required. Independent auditors confirm that the source of the work is not accountable. Members of the committee, Mr. Samuel Kadu, Commissioner, Mr. Thompson, Mr. Samuel, Mr. Tony Kadu, and Mr. Daniel, members of the committee.
Thank you much for your report. Though we had slight technical difficulties on this site, we could not hear very well, but those that have the annual report are able to read it on page 26. In accordance with Section 388, subsection 1 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, Cap C20, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2020, I hereby lay the financial statement for the year ended 31st December 2020 before you, and shall entertain any points members may wish to raise on the financial statements and the reports thereon. Let me also take this opportunity to say that year 2020 was a very frightening year, as millions of people worldwide lost their lives due to the novel COVID-19 pandemic. The pandemic attack resulted in mandatory shutdown of both governments and businesses, resulting in serious economic crisis both in advanced and local economies. In Nigeria, we all experienced the COVID-19 pandemic. Some of us lost our loved ones, some lost our businesses, and some equally lost our freedom because of a restriction of movement. As a company, the board and management of Champion Breweries PLC did not rest. We didn't rest during the pandemic, despite difficulty in getting raw materials in for production, difficulty in production, distribution, difficulty in getting spare parts, employees coming to work, difficulty in getting returnable packaging materials, and other obstacles that we faced during that period. The company was able to outperform some of the major brands in the year. Revenue increased to 7 billion naira, operating profits to 461 million, and profit before tax increased to 418 million. Despite incessant violence and conflicts in the country, from Boko Haram to headsmen, Meiti Allah, the militants, kidnappers, and so on. Even in the financial sector, we had serious inflation in the economy. We continue to remain focused in dominating our markets and breaking and penetrating into new areas within the South-South zone. I am proud to say that the demand for our Champion beer and malts have skyrocketed. Actually, we are doing more on brand volume than our contract volume. Though we are producing at about 50% capacity because of the aging of our production lines. I thank the management and the board, and of course the Akwa Ibom State government. I also thank our workers, our staff, then Heineken, for working assiduously to develop the business and create value for our distinguished shareholders. I believe that this year is going to be a very powerful and tremendous year in terms of business. I think that we'll have the prospect of outperforming last year, because last year we actually witnessed a total shutdown of the whole economies. But as it is, we are grateful to God for giving us the privilege to see 2021, which I believe will do better. At this point, I want to say that my statement, the chairman's statement, is reflected in pages 12 and 13. So please, if you've not already read it, make time and read the chairman's statement at that point. And at this point, I would like any member or any shareholder that has comments or wishes to ask questions on our chairman's statement, the director's report, financial statements, or general activities of the company, is free to do so. And we are here to take the questions as it is.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, once more, my name is Godwin Anoni, member of Audit Committee of Champion Breweries. Mr. Chairman, we have passed through a very, very difficult time.
Yes.
A time that we will never forget in the history of this company. A time that we linger forever in our memory. Champion Breweries. What do I mean? I said Champion Breweries. Champion Breweries will live to stay. Champion Breweries will live to stay in the sense that if Champion Breweries can pass through this process of any difficulty, well, God and the sky is there to investigate for us. I also believe that the company have done so well from their results. They look at their result shows a very good turnover, but not turnover that will declare a dividend, not turnover that will smile in the faces of the shareholders. But I believe that Champion Breweries will come to stay. Champion Breweries will come and stand among other breweries in the height of victory. So I also believe that if the government can give us some free duties in taxes, some free duties in whatever thing at all, it's something of encouragement for Champion Breweries. Champion Breweries will do well. But I want to say that if we can match with any other company like Nigeria, like Nigeria Brewery, exchange of shares, it will do well for us. So I thank you for all this. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let me just add that our success has depended much on our quality of product quality, our determination, willingness to compete despite the fact that we are an independent brewer. We are increasing our market shares. We are taking other regional territories. We have a very good product. In fact, we can't even meet the demand. The major problem has been that of our aging equipment. As it is right now, we can't even handle the contract volumes despite everything, what we are seeing now. I believe that by God's grace, hopefully by the end of this year, the board at the last meeting voted to acquire some equipment to replace the existing one. So our goal is to target 1 million hectoliters, which by God's grace, we should be able to achieve that come next year. And with that in mind, I think we'll be able to do enough to put a smile on your faces, at least for the first time. Thank you, sir. Any other remark, any other question? Okay. Item number 2 on the agenda is the re-election of the retiring directors. Mrs. Afolake Lawal and Mr. Samuel O. Onokwe resigned as directors of the company effective April 22nd, 2021. We use this medium to thank them for their immense contributions towards the growth of the company. and wish them both well in their respective future endeavors. The directors retiring by rotation in accordance with the company's Articles of Association and Section 285 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act Cap C20 laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2020 are Alhaji Shaibu A. Otan, Mrs. Helen Omana, and Mr. Samson Agbedo, and being eligible, do offer themselves for re-election. I now move that Alhaji Shaibu A. Otan be re-elected as a director of the company. Please, can anyone rise to second this motion? Have we lost connection?
I second that.
Thank you so much. Please, can you state your name? Mr. Temp. I hereby put this motion to a vote by poll and direct that the registrars to declare the results accordingly. Please unmute your mics. Because,
Thank you, sir.
yes.
For the resolution to re-elect Alhaji Shuaib A. Otan as the director of the company, the result of the poll is as follows: 7,293,028,477 units of shares, representing 100% of the vote cast by proxy, voted in favor of the resolution. None of the votes cast by proxy voted against the resolution. There is no abstention. Thank you, sir.
I now move that Mrs. Helen Omana be re-elected as a director of the company. Please, can anyone rise to second this motion?
Seconded, Chairman.
Thank you so much. Please, I did not get your name.
Thank Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rick. I hereby put this motion to a vote by poll and direct the registrars to declare the results accordingly.
Please unmute the registrar.
The register is on mute now.
Is on mute.
I can hear you, registrar.
Temitope, please
Can you
speak.
hear me, sir?
Yes, we can all hear you, Temitope.
Okay, thank you, sir. For the resolution to re-elect Mrs. Ellen Umana as the director of the company, the result of poll is as follows: 7,293,028,477 units of shares, representing 100% of the vote cast by proxy, voted in favor of the resolution. None of votes cast by proxy voted against the resolution. There is no abstention. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I now move that Mr. Samson Agbedo be re-elected as a director of the company. Please, can anyone rise to second this motion?
Mr. Chairman, sir.
Yes.
Yes. I, Shuaib A. Otan,
Hereby second the motion. Thank you, sir.
I hereby put this motion to a vote by poll and direct the registrars to declare the results accordingly.
Resolution to re-elect Mr. Samson Aigbedo as the director of the company. The result of the poll is as follows: 7,293,028,477 units of shares, representing 100% of the vote cast by proxy, voted in favor of the resolution. None of the vote cast by proxy voted against the resolution. There is no abstention. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Based on the results declared by the registrars, the votes show that Mr. Samson Agbedo has been unanimously re-elected as a director of the company. Item number 3 on the agenda is to authorize the directors to fix the remuneration of the auditors. Mrs. KPMG have indicated their willingness to act as the company's auditors. Under Section 401 subsection 2 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, Cap C20 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2020, the retiring auditors are reappointed without any resolution being passed. But Section 408 subsection 1 subsection B of the Act requires that their remuneration be fixed by the company in general meeting or in such manner as the company in general meeting may determine. I hereby move that the auditors, having indicated their willingness to continue in office, the directors be authorized to fix their remuneration in respect of the year ending December 31, 2021. Please, can anyone rise to second this motion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, sir. And please, your name, please.
My name is Chief Peter Mbam.
Thank you, Chief Peter. I hereby put this motion to a vote by poll and direct the registrars to declare the results accordingly.
Thank you, sir. For the resolution to authorize the director to fix the remuneration of the auditors, the result of poll is as follows: 7,293,028,477 units of shares, representing 100% of the vote cast by proxy, voted in favor of the resolution. None of the vote cast by proxy voted against the resolution. There is no abstention. Thank you.
Item number 7 on the agenda is the election or re-election of shareholders representatives on the audit committee. I now call on the secretary to take us through the procedure.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Section 404 sub 6 of the Company and Allied Matters Act, Cap C20 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2020 requires that any shareholder may nominate a shareholder as a member of the audit committee by giving notice to the company secretary 21 days before the annual general meeting. Accordingly, 4 valid nominations were received from shareholders on members to represent them in the audit committee for the year 2021. The valid nominations are as follows: Mr. Godwin A. Anono, nominated by Mrs. Patience Anono; Mr. Olatunde Olayemi, nominated by Mr. Matthew Akinlade; Mr. Olubosun Banji, nominated by Mr. Ezechukwu Augustine Nnameka; Mr. Peter Mbahuru, nominated by Chief Boniface Okezie. Each shareholder or shareholder's proxy can vote by poll, and the registrars should declare the votes accordingly. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Therefore declare that the following members have been duly elected as members of the audit committee of the company in compliance with Section 404, subsection 3 of the Companies Allied Matters Act, Cap C20 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2020. Mr. Godwin A. Anono, elected shareholder representative. Mr. Olatunde Olayemi, elected shareholder representative. Mr. Peter Mbahuru, elected shareholder representative. Mr. Thompson Owoka, elected director representative.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Yeah, the election is subject to a vote by the shareholders, which has been done by proxy, and the registrars will declare the results.
Okay. So I should continue.
Thank you.
Yes.
For the resolution to elect shareholders representative on the audit committee, the result of the election is as follows. The entire 61 proxies received vote in favor of the resolution. None of the proxies voted against the resolution. There is no abstention. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. So having declared that the following members have been duly elected, which I already mentioned, starting with Mr. Godwin A. Anono, elected shareholders representative, Mr. Olatunde Olayemi, elected shareholder representative, Mr. Bahuru, elected shareholder representative, Mr. Thompson Walker, elected director representative, and Mr. Kevin Santry, elected director representative. Item number 5 item number 5 in the agenda is disclosure of remuneration of managers in line with section 257 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, C 2020. This item has been duly reported in page 23 of the annual report and in compliance with the Act. Item number 6 under special business of this agenda is to consider and if thought fit, pass the following resolution as ordinary resolution of the company. To approve the remuneration of the directors. The remuneration for the directors for the year under review have been duly stated in the annual reports and accounts for your review. Section 293, subsection 1 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, C 20 Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2020, requires that the remuneration of the directors shall from time to time be determined by the company in a general meeting, and such remuneration shall be deemed to accrue from day to day. I hereby move that the directors be authorized to fix their remuneration in respect of the year ending December 31st, 2021. Please, can anyone rise to second this motion?
I second the motion.
Please, your name, please.
Peter Mbano, I second the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Peter. I hereby put this motion to a vote by poll and direct the registrars should declare the results accordingly.
Thank you, sir. For the resolution to fix the remunerations of the director, the result of the poll is as follows. 7,293,028,477 units of shares, representing 100% of the votes cast by proxy, voted in favor of the resolution. None of the votes cast by proxy voted against the resolution. There is no abstention. Thank you, sir.
So much. Item number 7 under special business of this agenda is to consider and if thought fit, pass the following resolution as an ordinary resolution of the company. That pursuant to Rule 20.8 of the Rule Book of the Nigerian Stock Exchange 2015, issuers rules general mandate B and is hereby given to the company, authorizing the company during the 2021 financial year and up to the date of the next annual general meeting to enter into recurring transactions with related parties for the company's day-to-day operations, including the procurement of goods and services on normal commercial terms consistent with the company's transfer pricing policy. All transactions falling under this category which were earlier entered into in 2020 prior to date of this meeting are hereby ratified. Please, can anyone rise to second this motion? Thank you so much. I hereby put this motion to a vote by poll and direct the registrars should declare the results accordingly.
Thank you. For the resolution to authorize the director to enter into a recurrent transaction with related parties, the result of polls is as follows: 660,331,177 units of shares, representing 100% of the proxy votes cast from minority shareholder, voted in favor of the resolution. None of the proxy votes from the minority shareholder voted against the resolution. There is no abstention. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Chiefs, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of these proceedings for this meeting. I would like to thank on behalf of the Board of Directors for attending the meeting. I thank our esteemed distinguished shareholders for showing such interest in our company. And I want to thank most especially the MD, Mr. Georges Polymenakos, for a job well done, and all his staff members, his management team. I also want to thank our company secretary for all the for putting up this meeting and all the technical crews. I want to thank the government of Akwa Ibom State for their support. His Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Mr. Udom Gabriel Emmanuel. I also want to thank Heineken Group for their tremendous support for this company. By extension, Raison. They've done so well to make this company the way it is today, and it is still moving forward. Let me also thank our board members for being present in this meeting. I want to thank Mrs. Helen Umana, seated here with me, and Kechi as well, the CFO for this company. I want to thank everyone. God bless you, and I look forward to seeing you again next year. I hereby declare this meeting formally closed. Thank you. Please stand up for national anthem.